Anyone can move, but how do you go about moving effectively? Again, you can utilize a lot of these tips in other shooters, not just TF2. I will be covering multiple types of movement techniques, hitbox manipulation, and movement tips. May sound a bit confusing, but I'll explain better as I do those topics. Now let's stop wasting time and get right into how you can become an apex predator.
What the heck?
Alright, no, but seriously, let's go. Honestly, I'm gonna say this right away, I seriously recommend getting good at surf and jump maps. This will teach you a lot more than you think.
Surfing literally teaches you how to airstrafe and surf off of objects or map geometry. Just keep in mind, you usually cannot change direction as easily in normal surfers unless they have a shitty air acceleration plugin.
I'm never doing that voice again, bro. Rocket jumping helps you take advantage of not only your own weapon knockback, but other people's weapon knockback as well. Yes, this means you can rocket jump with other people's rockets and use their bullet knockback to your advantage. By just jumping and crouching, you immediately go way further than you normally would. You can use a rocket or bullet's knockback to surf away from enemies or to a different target. It may not seem like a huge deal to learn all this, but you'd be surprised at how many times this will actually save you in game. Everyone watching right now is like, no shit bro, what am I, 2 years old? First off, yes, for how much you baby rage in game. We all do it, don't worry. But also, you'd be extremely surprised how many people walk in a straight line, die, then complain about how broken a class is. Move around. Start moving in unpredictable patterns, keep switching up how you move. If you strafe left, then right repeatedly, that's incredibly easy to predict. And all a sniper has to do is just stroke his ego while aiming in the middle of your movement. Before I could even finish explaining, you're already dead. Do you see what I mean? No, but seriously, move unpredictably. You will see a lot of improvement just from this one simple tip. Again, it seems obvious, but let me explain crouch jumping briefly and why it's important. To crouch jump, jump and then crouch after. You can also get slightly more height if you crouch then jump slightly after. In some maps, this actually can make a difference to get into different spots. Now, why is it important? By crouch jumping, you can actually warp your hitbox in a way that makes your head in a slightly different spot than what's shown for others. Be careful to not do it too much though. It can make it easier to get hit if you do it too much. Learning how to b-hop is honestly pretty simple to understand. Perfecting it is what's hard. To b-hop, just jump, then as soon as you touch the ground, jump again, and rinse and repeat over and over. Why is this useful? You can also keep your momentum going while doing other animations or actions. This can help you get around corners faster for cover while in animations like reloading or using buff banner. If you perfect it, you can actually make the game think you are still airborne, which is useful with the market gardener. B-hopping is mostly useful because it can make you a harder target to hit. Tap strafing is a common term in some games. Biggest and most common example being Apex Legends. Basically, to dumb it down, the idea is to tap a direction key, usually being A or D, and move your mouse to abruptly turn direction. This is easiest on Scout, however, it is possible with other classes, just not nearly as effective as Scout. Tap strafing is used to completely throw off enemies' tracking to give you a second window to work with before they readjust their aim and attack you again. You can also lead a tap strafe into a b-hop to continue momentum. And if you get good at it, you can then continue this and turn your b-hop back into another tap strafe and rinse and repeat. There's various different weapons that you can utilize with your movement knowledge. A few examples being the Force of Nature, Detonator, or a demo shield like the Tide Turner. With the Force of Nature, you can jump and shoot diagonally to knock yourself higher than normal without even using a third jump. Jump and shoot in front of you to knock yourself back. You can also utilize that unused double jump to get even higher. Detonator can be used to do a mini rocket jump if you flick behind you. Crouch jump for max height or forward speed. Shoot, then hold right click to immediately detonate after you shoot. This opens up a lot more movement options for Pyro, for sneaky spots or just throwing people off guard by suddenly getting close to them. You can use demo shields. Most commonly used for this is the Tide Turner for turning control while charging, to trimp off ledges or map geometry, to get the drop on enemies, or using it to get quickly back to your team from spawn. There's so many more options to utilize weapon movement, which I will get into in another video because it's a lot to cover. This is any way you can warp or use your hitbox to your advantage. You've probably seen how Soldier's Hand can block headshots if you look in the right direction. This can be applied in many ways, some similar and others not so similar. Clicking your mouse fast enough and changing direction can be used as a way to abruptly change your hitbox and dodge a headshot. This works best on Scout, but it is still possible as other classes. Flicking directly up on certain classes can also make snipers miss a lined up headshot. Like I said earlier, some classes can block headshots just from parts of their own hitbox, usually being an arm. If you look up and to the side, you can block a headshot by forcing the sniper to hit your hand instead. Doesn't work every time, but it can be enough to save your life. Ping plays a huge factor into this, since what the enemy sees on their end can be different from yours. There's also a tech I use a lot that I call the U-turn. This is used for people that can't fully control their mouse movements good enough to flick 180 degrees properly, or if you are jumping over someone or something. I mostly use this on Scout, but can also be used on other classes as well. How it works is you pull your mouse all the way down and bring it back up behind you. The more practice you get with it, the more you can perform accurate turns. If flicking works for you too, then go for it. U-turn is just something I show players that flicking doesn't really work as well for. You do you. Use your movement. Don't be scared to get creative. Maybe even try discovering your own movement tech. Again, ping plays a huge factor in judging whether a shot will miss or not, so keep that in mind. Also, hit res sucks dick. Like I said in the aim guide video I did, if you were watching this to try to get better because you have a lot of hours and still think you're bad, truthfully, who gives a shit? Play the game how you want to play it. As long as it really isn't hurting anyone, then who cares? Please be respectful about how other players play the game as well. Your fun is important, but so is everyone else's. Do not try to force yourself into a competitive mindset if you can't handle it. It can be a lot more mentally damaging than people think. Learning movement is a ton of fun, so have fun with it. If you start getting frustrated, then take a break and come back to it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you learned a thing or two, and if you didn't, then I apologize for wasting your time. As always, be safe, be kind, and have fun playing.